I should have known something was off when Nolan started the conversation with "I have been thinking about what it means to be emotionally mature." That is never a good opener. That is the kind of thing people say right before they ask you to do something you absolutely don't want to do and make it seem like you are the asshole if you say no. We were sitting on the couch, mid-November, scrolling through potential dates for our first Christmas party as an engaged couple. I had my laptop balanced on my knees, a spreadsheet open because yes, I am that person who makes spreadsheets for parties. Nolan had his phone, half watching some YouTube video about HVAC maintenance tips. "Okay," I said slowly, not looking up from the screen. "What does emotional maturity mean to you?" "It means being able to maintain healthy friendships with exes, not letting jealousy dictate your relationships, being secure enough to Nolan." I closed the laptop. "What are you trying to say?" He set his phone down. Did that thing where he turns his whole body toward me like we are about to have a serious relationship talk. "I want to invite Delilah to the party." I blinked. "Your ex-girlfriend Delilah? She doesn't have family in the area. She is going to be alone for the holidays. She has friends, not really close ones. And I just think, I don't know. It would be the kind thing to do. The mature thing." There it was. Mature. Like I was immature for even hesitating. Here is what you need to know about Delilah Crow. She and Nolan dated for 2 years, broke up 3 years ago. And according to him, they had stayed friends in that vague way. People stay friends when they really mean we still text sometimes, and it is probably inappropriate but not technically cheating. I would met her twice. Once at a mutual friend's barbecue where she had hugged Nolan just a little too long and called him Noel like they were still in their 20s and sharing inside jokes. Once at a bar where she had shown up uninvited to a group hang and spent the entire night talking about how hard it was to be single in your 30s both times. She had looked at me like I was a placeholder. "I don't think that is a good idea," I said carefully. "Why not?" "Because it is weird, Nolan. We are engaged. This is our party, our first Christmas as a couple planning a wedding. Inviting your ex-girlfriend is what? Too threatening for you?" His voice had that edge to it now, that subtle condescension that made me feel like I was being unreasonable, even when I knew I wasn't. "It is not about being threatened, it is about boundaries, boundaries." He said it like I had just used a made-up word, Iris. "I am not asking to invite someone I am still in love with. I am asking to invite a friend who is struggling. If you cannot handle that, maybe we need to talk about your trust issues." And there it was. My trust issues, not his boundary problems, not his inability to fully let go of a relationship that ended years ago. My issues, I should have ended it right there. I didn't. "Fine," I said, "invite her." He kissed my forehead like I had just passed some kind of test. "Thank you for being so understanding. This is why I love you." I opened my laptop back up and stared at the spreadsheet until the numbers blurred together. Delilah messaged me 2 days later. Not Nolan. Me. "Hey, Iris. Nolan told me about the party invite. That is so sweet of you guys. I know it might be a little awkward, but I really appreciate you being so cool about this. Not everyone would be mature enough to handle their partner staying friends with an ex. You know? You are really special." I read it 3 times. The thing about messages like that is they are designed to sound grateful while actually establishing dominance. She wasn't thanking me. She was reminding me that she and Nolan had a connection that predated me, that I was the newcomer who had to prove I could handle their history. I typed and deleted 4 different responses before settling on, "No problem. See you at the party." Short, neutral, giving her nothing to work with. She replied immediately. "Nolan's really lucky to have someone like you. He always said he wanted someone who got him, you know? I am glad he found that." I put my phone face down on my desk and went back to processing payroll. The thing that pushed me over the edge happened a week before the party. I came home from work early half-day because we had finished quarterly reports ahead of schedule and found Nolan on the phone in our bedroom. He didn't hear me come in. I was about to announce myself when I heard him say her name. "Delilah, you cannot keep doing this to yourself." I stopped in the hallway. "I know it is hard. I know he doesn't get you the way some people do." Pause. "No, that is not what I am saying. I am saying you deserve someone who sees you. Really sees you." My stomach turned to ice. "Of course I still care about you. That doesn't just go away." His voice was soft, intimate, the way he used to talk to me in the beginning. "You are always going to be important to me. You know that." I backed out of the hallway as quietly as I would come in, went back outside, Saturday in my car for 10 minutes trying to process what I had just heard. Then I did something I am not particularly proud of. I pulled out my phone and searched for Delilah Crow on social media. Took me maybe 90 seconds to find her Facebook profile, not fully locked down. Recent relationship status update from 8 months ago, married to Grant Bellamy. Married Delilah wasn't alone for the holidays. Delilah had a whole-ass husband. And Nolan knew. He had to know. They talked regularly enough that he would know she was married. Which meant the whole "she is so lonely" thing was bullshit. I sat in that car for another 20 minutes, watching that relationship status like it might change if I stared at it long enough. Then I clicked on Grant Bellamy's profile. Truck dispatcher, 36. Posted a lot of photos of him and Delilah at Astros games. At barbecues, normal couple shit. His most recent post was from 3 days ago. A photo of them at some brewery with the caption "Best wife a guy could ask for." He had no idea. Neither did I. Really, not the full extent. But I knew enough. I went back inside. Nolan was in the living room now, scrolling through his phone. Hey babe, he said, not looking up. Didn't hear you come in, just got home. I set my purse down. Hey, random question. Is Delilah seeing anyone? He glanced up. Why? Just wondering, you said she was alone for the holidays. Figured if she had a boyfriend or something, we could invite him too. Oh, he looked back at his phone. No, she is not dating anyone. Still recovering from her last breakup, I think. Huh. I walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, stared at its contents without really seeing them. That is tough. Yeah, she has had a rough year. I closed the fridge, opened it again, grabbed a yogurt I didn't want. What if we made it a bigger thing? I called out, like a real holiday party. Invite more people. Make it less intimate. I thought you wanted to keep it small. I changed my mind. Let's do it right. You know, really celebrate our engagement. Invite everyone. I heard him get up, walk into the kitchen. You okay? You seem weird. I am great. I smiled at him. Just got excited about the party. Let's make a whole thing of it. I will send out a Facebook event. We will do a proper spread. The works. He kissed the top of my head. Whatever makes you happy. I sent the Facebook event that night. Iris and Nolan's holiday celebration. Come help us celebrate our engagement and the season. Dinner, drinks, and good company. Bring your spouse, Faye partner. I made sure to tag Delilah in the event. Made sure the visibility was set so Grant would see it on her timeline. Then I sent Grant a direct message. Hi Grant, I am Nolan's fiancé. Not sure if Delilah mentioned it, but we are having a holiday party on the 18th, and would love for both of you to come. I know the Facebook event invite went to her, but wanted to personally invite you too since we are trying to get to know our friends' partners better. Hope you can make it friendly normal. The kind of thing an engaged woman planning a couple's party would say. He responded within an hour. Hey Iris, thanks for the invite. Delilah didn't mention it, but that sounds great. We will be there. I showed Nolan the message. Grant Bellamy. He looked confused. Who is that? Delilah's husband, didn't you know she was married? I watched his face carefully. Watched the micro-expressions flash across it. Surprise, panic, quick recovery. Oh yeah, I think she mentioned that. I forgot. He handed my phone back. That is cool. More the merrier, right? Right? I said. The more the merrier. The next week was fascinating in the way car crashes are fascinating. Nolan suddenly got very interested in the party details. Who was coming, what we were serving, what the seating arrangement would be. Maybe we should do it buffet style, he suggested. Less formal. People can move around more. I already ordered a catering setup with assigned seating. I lied. It is too late to change. Where are you putting Delilah? Next to her husband. Obviously. Right? Obviously he ran his hand through his hair. Maybe she should be closer to us though. Since she doesn't know most of the other people. Grant doesn't know anyone either. They can meet new people together. It will be good for them. I watched him try to come up with a reason why that was a bad idea and fail. Delilah called him twice that week. I know because his phone was face up on the counter both times, and I saw her name flash across the screen. He took both calls in our bedroom with the door closed. The second time, I stood outside the door and listened. I cannot just uninvite him now. Nolan was saying, voice low, that would be weird. No, I didn't know she was going to do that. Delilah calmed down. I don't know. Maybe he will not notice anything. We will be careful, just act normal, and it will be fine. It would not. In fact, be fine. The night of the party, I wore a dress I had been saving, dark green, fitted, the kind that made me feel powerful. I did my makeup carefully, spent extra time on my hair. Nolan kept checking his phone. She is not going to bail, I said, touching up my lipstick in the bathroom mirror. What, Delilah? She is not going to bail. She will be here. I wasn't. I am not worried about that. Okay, the first guests started arriving at 7. My parents, Nolan's brother and sister-in-law, a few friends from work, some of Nolan's HVAC buddies and their wives. Delilah and Grant showed up at 7:30. She looked different than I remembered. Smaller somehow. Her eyes kept darting to Nolan, then away, then back again. Grant was exactly what I had expected from his photos. Tall, solid, friendly smile. Texan through and through with that easy confidence that comes from never having to question where you stand. Grant Bellamy, he said, shaking Nolan's hand. Great to finally meet you, man. Delilah's told me a lot about you. Nolan's smile looked painful. All good things, I hope. Oh yeah, you two go way back, right? We used to date, Delilah said quickly. Years ago, ancient history, right? Babe mentioned that. Grant put his arm around her waist, said you guys stayed friends though. That is cool. I think it is mature when people can do that. That word again, mature. I watched Delilah's hand curl into the fabric of Grant's shirt. Well, come on in, I said brightly. Let me show you around. Dinner was a special kind of torture. I had arranged the seating so Delilah and Grant were at the main table but not next to us. Close enough to observe. Far enough for plausible deniability. Grant was charming. Told stories about mishaps at the dispatch center, asked people about their jobs, made everyone laugh. He clearly adored his wife, kept touching her hand, refilling her wine glass, including her in conversations. Delilah barely spoke. She picked at her food and checked her phone under the table. Nolan was wound so tight, I thought he might snap. Every time Grant said Delilah's name, Nolan flinched like he had been shocked. Around 9, people started moving to the living room. Someone put Christmas music on. Wine kept flowing. I was in the kitchen refilling the cheese board when I heard Grant's voice from the living room, louder than before. Delilah. What the hell is this? The room went quiet. I walked out with the cheese board still in my hands like an idiot, like I was going to offer someone brie during whatever was about to happen. Grant was holding Delilah's phone. She was trying to grab it back. It is nothing. It is just, I miss you too. Grant read from the screen. Tonight is going to be so hard. I wish we could just talk alone. He looked up at his wife. Who sent this? Delilah's face had gone white. Grant, please. Not here, who sent. This she didn't answer. Grant scrolled. His face changed. These are from tonight. From an hour ago. More scrolling. Jesus Christ, Delilah. There are months of these. You will always be my person. He doesn't understand me like you do. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if he stopped reading. Looked up. Scanned the room. His eyes landed on Nolan. It is you. Not a question. Nolan stood up. Grant, man. It is not what it looks like, not what it looks like. Grant's laugh was bitter. My wife has been texting her ex-boyfriend. My wife's ex-boyfriend invited her to his engagement party. And I am reading messages from tonight where she is telling you she misses you. What exactly does it look like? We are just friends, Delilah said desperately. We were just catching up. It didn't mean catching up. Grant's voice was deadly quiet now. Babe, you told me you barely talk to him anymore. You told me he was just someone you used to know. He is, you have been lying to me for months, maybe longer. He looked at Nolan. And you are engaged to her. He pointed at me. And you are carrying on some kind of emotional affair with my wife. Nolan's mouth opened, closed. It wasn't an affair. We have history. We understand each other. It is complicated. It is really not. Grant handed Delilah her phone. We are leaving. Grant, please, we are leaving, he repeated. And when we get home, you are going to explain to me exactly what the hell has been going on. Every detail. He walked toward the door. Delilah scrambled after him, crying now. The room was completely silent except for Mariah Carey singing about all she wanted for Christmas. I turned off the music. Everyone was staring at Nolan. I said quietly. We should probably call it a night. People left quickly after that. Awkward hugs, mumbled excuses. Coats grabbed hastily from the bedroom. My mother squeezed my hand on her way out. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to. By 10:30, it was just me and Nolan. He was sitting on the couch, head in his hands. Iris, how long? I asked. It wasn't like that. We weren't doing anything physical. How long have you been texting her like that? He was quiet for a long moment. We never really stopped. After we broke up, we had check-in every few weeks. It wasn't a big deal. Every few weeks it was just friendship. Friendship, I laughed. It didn't sound like my laugh. Nolan, I heard you on the phone with her. I saw the way you looked at her tonight. That is not friendship. I love you. I want to marry you. But you wanted her there at our party. Our celebration. You gaslit me into thinking I was being jealous and insecure when really you just wanted an excuse to see her. That is not, and she is married. Her husband had no idea. Do you get how fucked up that is? He looked up at me. I never wanted to hurt you, but you did. You are. I twisted the engagement ring off my finger. You have been emotionally cheating on me for our entire relationship. You kept her as a backup, some kind of safety net in case things with us didn't work out. No, Iris. That is not true. I set the ring on the coffee table. I want you to stay somewhere else tonight. You are breaking up with me over this, over some text messages. I am breaking up with you because you made me feel crazy for having boundaries. Because you chose her feelings over mine. Because even now you are more worried about how this affects you than what you did to me, or to Grant. He stared at the ring. This is because I wouldn't let you control who I am friends with. This is because you lied to me about her, about what she meant to you, about all of it. I walked to the bedroom, closed the door, and locked it. I heard him moving around the apartment for about an hour, heard the front door close around midnight. Then I sat on the bed and cried until I couldn't anymore. Grant called me 3 days later. I am sorry, he said, about the scene at your party. That wasn't how I wanted to find out. Don't apologize, I knew. That is why I invited you. Silence on the other end of the line. You knew. I overheard Nolan on the phone with her. Did some digging. Found out she was married. It seemed like you deserved to know, so you set us up. I created a situation where the truth would come out. That is different. Another pause. Is it though? I don't know, I admitted. Maybe not. But I couldn't marry someone who was emotionally involved with someone else. And you deserve to know your wife was doing the same thing. She moved out, he said quietly. The next day, staying with a friend, said she needed space to think. I am sorry. Are you though? Fair question. I am sorry you got hurt. I am not sorry you found out. Yeah, he exhaled. Me neither. I mean, it fucking sucks, but at least I know now. We talked for an hour, compared stories, timelines, realized that Nolan and Delilah had been maintaining their emotional affair for years, probably the entire time they would both been in other relationships. They deserve each other, Grant said finally. Probably, but they will not end up together. How do you know? Because neither of them actually wants the other one. They just want the idea, the safety net, the ego boost of knowing someone else is out there pining for them. Grant laughed. It sounded tired. That is pretty cynical or realistic. Yeah, maybe. We started talking every few days after that, just checking in, comparing notes on the fallout. It wasn't romantic. It was more like we were the only two people who really understood what had happened. Nolan and Delilah, meanwhile, were apparently trying to spin it like we had orchestrated some kind of malicious setup to destroy their friendship. Delilah posted on Facebook about toxic people who cannot handle mature adult relationships. Didn't name names, but it was pretty obvious. Nolan told his friends I had always been controlling and jealous, that he had broken up with me because I was trying to isolate him. Grant and I just didn't engage. Let them tell whatever story they needed to tell. 4 months later, Grant and I got coffee. It wasn't planned. We had been texting about something mundane. I think he was asking about a payroll software his company was considering, and he suggested meeting up instead. We met at a Starbucks halfway between our places, talked for 3 hours, about everything. Work, family, what we wanted out of life, what we had learned from our respective dumpster fires. I don't think I can trust people the same way anymore, I admitted. Yeah, I get that. He stirred his coffee, but I don't know. Maybe that is not entirely a bad thing. Maybe we were too trusting before, or maybe we just trusted the wrong people. That too, he walked me to my car, hesitated before saying goodbye. This might be too soon, he said, or inappropriate, or I don't know. Somehow playing into exactly what they said we were doing, but would you want to get dinner sometime? Like, as an actual date? I thought about it, really thought about it. Yeah, I said I would. We kept it quiet for a while, didn't post about it, didn't make some big announcement, just dated like normal people. It was easy in a way my relationship with Nolan had never been. No games, no hidden meanings, just two people who knew exactly what betrayal looked like and had decided they didn't want to do that to each other. Of course, Nolan and Delilah found out eventually. Someone saw us together at a restaurant. By the next day, both of them were blowing up our phones. Nolan called me a hypocrite. Said I had destroyed his life so I could steal Delilah's husband. Said I had orchestrated the whole thing from the beginning. Delilah posted a long rant about homewreckers and people who cannot let go of the past. The irony was apparently lost on both of them. Grant and I talked about addressing it, about defending ourselves, about setting the record straight. Or, Grant said, we could just let them be loud and wrong. They are going to tell everyone we are terrible people. Some people will believe them, some will not. The ones who know us will know the truth. He was right. Some of our mutual friends took sides. Most just quietly removed themselves from the drama. Nolan's brother called me once, said he was sorry for how things ended, that he had always liked me. My parents loved Grant, loved that he treated me like an equal, like a partner, loved that he was straightforward and honest and didn't play games. 6 months in, we were solid. A year in, we moved in together. Not because we were rushing to replace what we had lost, because it made sense, because we wanted to. Nolan eventually started dating someone new. Lasted about 3 months before she broke up with him for being emotionally unavailable. Delilah moved to Austin. Last I heard, she was still posting cryptic quotes about narcissists and people who destroy families. The weird thing about the whole situation is how much people wanted us to be the villains. We would both been betrayed. We would both ended relationships because of that betrayal. We would both taken time to heal before starting something new, but because we ended up together. Because the timeline was a little messy and the optics weren't perfect. We must have been planning it all along. Must have been sneaking around. Must have destroyed 2 relationships to be together. Never mind that our relationships were already destroyed. Never mind that Nolan and Delilah had been emotionally cheating for years. Never mind that we hadn't even known each other before that Christmas party. People love a simple story. Good guys and bad guys. Clear motivations. Neat endings. Real life doesn't work like that. Real life is messy and complicated, and sometimes the person you end up with is the one who understands your specific brand of damage, because they have got the matching set. Grant proposed to me last month, not at a party, not in front of anyone, just us on our couch, watching some documentary about truck drivers he had been wanting to show me. I know this is complicated, he said. I know people are going to have opinions, but I don't care. I want to marry you. I said yes. We haven't set a date yet, haven't sent out any announcements, haven't posted about it, because here is what I learned from that Christmas party. You cannot control what people think of you. You cannot make them see the truth if they are determined to believe a lie. All you can do is know yourself. Know your own intentions. Know the difference between setting a boundary and being controlling, between protecting yourself and destroying someone else. I invited Grant to that party because I knew the truth needed to come out. Not to punish Nolan or Delilah, not to steal anyone's husband, but because I couldn't marry someone who was lying to me. And Grant deserved to know his wife was lying to him. Everything that happened after was just consequences, the natural result of people's choices catching up with them. Nolan chose to maintain an emotional affair. Delilah chose to marry someone while keeping her ex as a backup. They chose to gaslight their partners about what was really happening. I just chose not to let them get away with it. And yeah, Grant and I ended up together, but that wasn't the plan. That was just 2 people who had been through the same shit recognizing something in each other. Something real. Something honest. Something mature. Actually, not the performative. Look how evolved I am kind of maturity. Nolan was always going on about, the real kind. The kind where you say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't keep people around as emotional insurance policies. The kind where you choose your partner fully, without reservations or backup plans or safety nets. We are getting married next fall. It will be small. Just family and close friends. People who actually care about us instead of the drama. We are not inviting any exes, not because we are insecure or controlling or emotionally immature, but because we don't need to. because we chose each other. And that is enough.